So hello and welcome friends to our channel. Today in this session we are going to understand contemporary Indian education, its national policies and reforms in India. Also we are going to understand Kothari Commission, NPE 1968, NPE 1986, Operation Blackboard and Navodaya Vidyalayas. So let's get the overview of Kothari Commission. So the key background and context is Government of India convinced education is key to national prosperity. No investment yields greater returns than investment in human resources. Like other commissions, it studied various problems of education and it was appointed by Government of India July 1964. Well, there were 17 members, rupees 1497 spent on it and submitted its report on June 29, 1966. The composition is that the chairman was Dr. Professor Daulat S. Kothari and the terms of references which are the objectives are mentioned as you can view on the screen. Now let's understand some of the important recommendations. Also the role of education for national development. So they are particularly characteristics and divided into three parts, that is education and national development, science and mathematics and teacher training. So the national policy on education is based on Kothari Commission recommendations. So the key principles are 16 points, which is free and compulsory education, status, emoluments and education of teachers, development of languages, equalization of educational opportunities, identification of talent, work experience in national service, science education and research, education for agriculture and industry examinations, secondary education, university education, part-time education and correspondence courses, spread of literacy and adult education, education of minorities, educational structure, games and sports. So the background and limitations and review are as follows. So the National Policy of Education 1986 are further divided into three characteristics, that is aims of education, national system of education and education for equality. So the key features and provisions of elementary, secondary, higher and technical educations are elementary and secondary education, universal enrollment and universal retention of children up to 14 years, child-centered and activity-based process of learning, slow learners, substantial improvement in quality, secondary education appropriate stage to expose to differential roles of science, humanities and social science. This is an appropriate stage to provide children with history and national perspective, vocalization through specialized institution, valuable manpower for economic growth, secondary education widened to cover area unserved at present. So talking about higher education, so around 150 universities and above 5,000 colleges in India at that time, emphasizes on consolidation and expansion of facilities in existing institutions, urgent steps to protect the system from degradation. Autonomous colleges help develop in large numbers courses and programs redesigned to meet demands of specialization, state level planning and coordination of higher education through councils of higher education, and talk about technical and vocational education. Technical and management education is expensive, so high priority to modernization. Students encouraged to consider self-employment as career option. So let's understand the Operation Blackboard and evaluation reform. They are further divided into three categories, which is Operation Blackboard, evaluation of examination reform and teaching aids. Now in the part of teachers and language, the status of teachers and language policy, which is the status of teacher. No pupil can rise above the level of the teacher. Government and community should create conditions to help and motivate, inspire teachers to do something constructive and creative. And three language formula is first language mother tongue, second language official language of union, and it should be between classes 9 to 10, which is study of three languages including official language of state, and from classes 5 to 8 study of only one language to be made compulsory. So what is the place of Hindi and English? Hindi will continue as a language of intellectual exchange in higher education. Efforts should be made to spread education of Hindi in all parts of India. English will continue as a medium of exchange of views for majority of Indian people. However, English cannot be a medium of expression of Indian people. Pay little attention to learning of any South Indian language. 6 universities should be developed where in English should be made medium of instruction. Now let's see the NPE 1986, its merits, limitations and schemes. So let's talk about some of the merits, limitations and main schemes. So some of the merits is that first policy, which was formulated with initiative of a Prime Minister and after various discussions, has great emphasis on improvement of primary education and so on. And limitation of the policy is that its financial aspects have not been put on paper, has not discussed about the basic system of education at school level. It is too much has been expected from the community, and some of the schemes launched are National System of Education, Reconstruction of Curriculum, Operation Blackboard, Navodaya Vidyalayas, focalization of education. And the conclusion is that results of NP 1986 may be judged after a few years. It is sure it is going to bring healthy changes in our education system. It's properly implemented. Policy was recommended to be reviewed every 5 years. So the summary of the contemporary India education is that we learn about the Kothari Commission, which appointed by Government of India, 17 members under D.S. Kothari, submitted report June 29, recommended national education scheme for next 20 years. Then we saw NPE 1968, which is based on Kothari Commission, and 16-point national policy issued, covered free education, teacher status, languages, science and more, failed due to political instability. And then we saw NPE 1986, which is adopted by Lok Sabha, 12 parts, 157 paragraphs, introduced in national systems of education, Operation Blackboard, Navodaya Vidyalayas and DIET. And we also saw the key schemes, which is Operation Blackboard, basic facilities to primary schools, Navodaya Vidyalayas, quality education for rural talented children, DIET, which is pre-service and in-service training. So hope you guys have learned something new, and I've tried to cover all the topics. So thanks for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and let's meet in another video. Till then, keep learning and keep growing.